Good evening, and thank you for joining us in GCU Arena. Along to the one and only Dewey Jeffries, I'm Alex Larson. Welcome to this WAC matchup between the Chicago State Cougars and the GCU Lopes. And the Lopes really have a golden opportunity to break that loss streak right now.
Absolutely. You know what? And the height advantage that the Lopes have tonight, the Lopes have 9 players over 6 foot, while CSU only has 4. So with that height advantage, if the Lopes utilize that and take advantage of that, they'll definitely be able to step up tonight for sure.
And it'll be interesting to see the trends for the statistics for GCU have been going upwards. Let's take it to the court right now for starting introductions for the GCU Lopes.
Lopes fans, are you ready? I said Lopes fans, are you ready? On your feet for the starting lineup for your Grand Canyon University and Lopes. An outside hitter, a 5'8" freshman from Long Beach, California. Number 3, Tegan DeFalco. An outside hitter, a 6-foot freshman from Highland, California. Number 8, Claire Kovinsky. The libero's a 5'9" sophomore from Rochester Hills, Michigan. Number 9, Emma Ahern. And middle blocker, a 6'2" sophomore from Spokane, Washington. Number 12, Maria Adams. The setter's a 5'10" sophomore from Highland, California. Number 14, Kayla Redfield. An outside hitter, a 6'2" senior from Phoenix, Arizona. Number 15, Natalie Tardy. And a middle blocker, a 6-foot sophomore from Phoenix, Arizona. The pride of Mountain Point High School. Number 20, Kendall Gray. The Lopes are 5-14 on the season, 0-7 in Western Athletic Conference play. They're led by head coach Tim Nolan, assistant coaches Jay Van Bart and Ari Smith, director of volleyball operations Rachel Ferguson, team manager Dennis Flowers, athletic trainer Rachel Bodie, strength and conditioning coach Anna Kuzan. Officiating tonight's contest.
Coming here 5-14 for Chicago State. Much better than their previous years. Already 10 wins on the season, 1-6 in the WAC for them. That one win coming 4 games ago in Chicago, 3-1 against GCU. But the Lopes, like we said, a huge opportunity. That game wasn't really a 3-1 indication of the score, as the stat lines was much closer. 73 points for the Lopes. That actually trumped the 72 for Chicago State. So if the Lopes can really get their chances to fall their ways and tips to fall their ways, this is going to be their first win in front of the home crowd.
Absolutely, and if they can utilize their defense and be able to come together and unify themselves as a team, they can overcome with all of these statistics that we have and come out against the Cougars.
Well, you're right, Dewey. Chicago State starters, Summer Ferris, Lacey Adams, Iban Alapo, Carmen Carvajal, Lauren Dela Cruz, Alexandria Cliff, and the libero Megan Clavetter. But we're set to go with a Lacey Adams serve. Everyone on their feet. And matchup 2 of 2 on the season between these two WAC opponents underway. And it starts with a GCU point.
That's that offense, that Lopes offense that we want to see so early on, that is going to get us the points that we need to come out on top.
How about Kavensky, the kill leader? Each of the kills leaders for GCU, freshman. Good sign. Service error. That's one thing GCU is going to have to try and avoid service errors on the season, 134 compared to 140 from their opponents given up. They want to keep that number less than Chicago State tonight.
Absolutely. They have that ability to attack the ball, especially with what you said, freshman Claire Kavensky with 3.2 kills per set, and Tegan DeFalco right behind her with 2.7.
Yes, sloppy start there on the reception there by Kavensky, but understandably some nerves for each team. Up here on Chicago State side and barely tapped over. Nice play by Lauren De La Cruz. De La Cruz, the kill leader for the Cougars at 351.
A little bit of miscommunication there by Kavensky. Wasn't sure she could dive for it, went anyway, and just slightly missed.
Good serve right there from Chicago State side. And a reception error, it looks like, or a double hit. Either way, it's GCU's point, 3-2. We always see in these volleyball matches back and forth until the 12th to 15th point. And hopefully we see that here, but it's good that GCU's not getting washed away early.
Absolutely. Being able to hold their own.
What does he say that? There's De La Cruz, the kill leader again. Second of the game already for her. Be off the fingers of maybe Haig it was on the net, but either way they double up 4-2. And the libero comes on to serve Klavitter. Haig punched that one over. Adams sets, hands down, but Alapo's able to get it back over. Good dive by Kavensky to keep it up. Haig, that lefty swing. Lacey Adams looks good so far on the back lines for Chicago State. And it'll be a GCU point. Blocking at the net. Something that they haven't done so well this season, but needing to do better, and they did it there.
Absolutely. Kendall Gray with that block to get the Lopes that third point.
11 blocks apiece in their first matchup. That serve misrecepted there, but a good job of Chicago State to recover. Now Haig off a Cougar. That is Klavitter, and it'll be a tie set. Haig coming on, not a normal starter for these Lopes, but interesting to see if she will be able to continue to make a difference throughout this match.
Absolutely. Lopes doing well so far. That service error by Kavensky.
Kavensky already 2 service errors for GCU. Can't have that. Service aces for Chicago State, only 100. So not the best serving team, but see how GCU can capitalize on that as DeFalco comes flying in. The ball bounces towards the near side on us, giving a tie and substitutions for GCU. Haig coming off, and Tressa Schuler already checking on.
Like you said before, the Lopes are doing well to keep that balance of the back and forth aspect so early in this game, in this first set. Chicago gets their 6th point. The Lopes are only trailing by 1 with 5.
Tell you what, we talked about the height advantage. Well, not very evident right now. Chicago State really is working that net and getting hops. Serve right into that. I've got a feeling we're going to see a decent amount of service errors just because each team doesn't really specialize in serving, but that's going to be a big factor in the later sets, and you know, it's going to be which team can make the fewest of those that's going to end up winning.
Absolutely. Both teams are so evenly matched up statistically that it's going to come down to those few errors that will offset the points for the score.
Serve there, and then there's a point for Chicago State. Is a net violation. Oh, a player down and everyone quiet. It's Tegan DeFalco grabbing her right ankle.
Not something the Lopes want to see early on in this first set.
Yeah, DeFalco second in kills on this squad. I mean, she really brings energy and talent really to this GCU roster. And there's been a couple times late in the set they bring her on and really change the dynamic of the set. So it'd be interesting to see the extent of this injury. Hopefully it's something just minor and a sprain, but we'll see how it goes on later in the match.
Absolutely, the Lopes will definitely benefit from her return later on. We hope for a quick recovery as we get back started into this game. The Lopes not down yet, ready to come back. Score 7-6, Chicago in the lead.
Point won by Chicago State. Overshadowed by the injury there. Everyone stopped right in the net. Ready to resume play at 7-6. Cliff from Chicago State serves from left to right. Punched on. And then again, Chicago State. That's a great play. And it's Summer Ferris, just what we talked about. The jumping at the net, very good.
Absolutely. Chicago State using their close proximity to the net to get over and reach to offset the height for the Lopes.
8-6 Adams sets it right into the net, and a GCU point as it comes back. I believe at a double touch on the Chicago State side, and it's 8-7.
Lopes get ready to attack. Melody Horton with the serve.
And there is a service ace. Melody Horton coming on, and those are exactly the swing and momentums he needed from the substitutions coming off the bench.
We talk about the strong offenses both of these teams have. We're going to see a lot of scoring. We're going to see a lot of excellent offensive plays.
Summer Ferris gets that kill. Tell you what, could see 5 sets here tonight. Like we say, keep saying, teams very evenly matched. There's going to be a lot of points scored and a lot of back and forth action in a little amount of time.
Absolutely.
Aaron kept it up, and then Tardy trying for that far corner. And that is a GCU point. So all tied up, 8 through 18 points, 9 apiece.
Just a bit overshot by Carmen Carvajal.
Big game for each team. Mathematically eliminated from WAC playoffs, but momentum looking to gain for the rest of the games as Chicago State able to keep that one up on their side. Back to GCU. Tapped over by Kavensky. She's done that a couple times already early on. Nice movement by GCU so far as Tardy's unable to keep that one inside the lines. So the point goes to Chicago State. Not quite been able to overcome this deficit yet, but they've been able to tie, and that's close enough. I mean, I'm sure once they get some momentum later on in the set, they'll be able to take the lead, but they haven't quite been able to do that yet.
As they tie it up again.
Way too hard. Carvajal, she is actually the service errors leader with 47. Carmen Carvajal. Next for Chicago State is Clavitter with only 10. And Ahern swings a hand at that, unable to get it. Running into the crowd is Kavensky, but you'd like to see her probably pull up there and avoid injury. It's not worth that point.
Absolutely, but we do still appreciate the hustle that the Lopes are going to need to continue throughout this entire game.
No, you're right. We are going to need to see that hustle as Haig comes on and ties it up again. She has done well so far. 2 kills for her. Leads the GCU side as Kavensky is going to serve. And it's far. Lead to Chicago State. That's the one thing GCU hasn't been able to do once they get this tie. Made the mistake and haven't been able to convert. So Chicago State has been able to keep retaining that 1-point lead. Quick-paced match so far, if you haven't been able to tell. Kept up by Adams and sent down. Nice job by Carvajal. She's a good player.
Definitely helps for the Lopes to have head coach Tim Nolan kind of whispering in their ear to help them read and anticipate some of the moves that Chicago is going to pull. Like just right there.
That was Horton getting that point. I apologize, the last kill for Chicago State, Lauren De La Cruz. De La Cruz all the way up to 5 kills. 13-12. And it's a point there again, Alexandria Cliff. Cliff has her second kill, and that's a nice set to her, flying from near side to far side. Up here, and Horton's able to get that down.
Smooth moves right there by Horton. Snuck it right through. In between CSU players were not able to get that ball right back out.
Horton looks good so far. Aggressive and converting. That one barely kept in the corner. Kept up and then off the hands of GCU and out. So it'll be a Cougar point. 15-13 and a timeout on the court. We will take one with them. We'll be right back.
It's going to be a great night. He was the architect, of course, of one of the winningest franchises in NBA history.
Tonight's about Mr. Colangelo, that great museum. It's connected to our basketball facility, our brand new practice facility. So,
you know, what about the Colangelo School of Business? He got really, really excited about it. And he was the architect of that program. It has just taken off.
But what they don't understand is business is relationships, building it, using your platform, and creating access. I think this business school will be one of the finest business schools in America.
If we hadn't met Jerry, I'm not sure where this institution would be today.
I have never seen a man who is so powerful handle it with such grace and generosity. And I'll never forget that. It's my honor to be here tonight, and thank you for everything, Jerry.
You know, I've often said that God has a plan, I believe, for everyone's life, and he's had a plan for my life. So I think...
Back on the court. Cliff will serve 15-13, a 2-point deficit for GCU. Kept up there, good job by Horton, a nice play again to recognize that. And a dive, unable to get it. GCU within one again.
CSU not able to capitalize on that point right there. GCU taking over that. Melody Horton to serve.
Heidi Carpenter serves this one. And that was a nice setup right there by Chicago State, almost unstoppable. Automatically done. Fans come out on Saturday to support the Lopes volleyball team as they play right here again against UMKC. Be on that call. Nice little serve, a nifty serve. And that's a very smart play. Adams unable to get that one down, but great player. And now to Chicago State side.
Lopes able to keep reading their moves and eventually able to capitalize and get the point.
Too much right there from Carvajal, but great initial play from Lacey Adams to really lob that one up there on the serve. Sent over, and then smacked down. Ferris using her height and her wingspan to get that one down right in front of the players. 17-15, Carvajal serves. I'm sure GC knows that she is a bit eager, and they're going to call that a net violation, reaching over on GCU, 18-15.
Lopes are slowly getting better with being able to read. As I said before, the Cougars kind of game plan as they're attacking and trying to outsmart them and move the ball in ways that the Lopes may not anticipate, but the Lopes are able to move quickly and capitalize off of this, even with the now 4-point deficit as Chicago State gets that next point.
That's Ibn Alapo, and I'm impressed with these Chicago State players coming in and answering the call of duty in this arena in front of this crowd. Unable to get there. That's really no one's fault as Clevitter was tracking back. Alapo needed some help, but the bar was way too far out of her reach, and it's 19-16. 3-point lead for the Cougars. Heidi Carpenter is going to serve.
CSU, just like GCU, has been showing a lot of improvement in the last couple of games, as we're able to see here.
Nothing really be done there as Alapo thought it was over the net, came back onto her side and kind of just punched to keep it up.
Both teams kind of struggling to come out on top and show which team is the better. 19-17, the Lopes served that one.
GCU, and a net violation. Well, I don't know what that was. We'll get an official call on that. It wasn't a net violation. I think I may have seen a 2 put up, which means double touch, but either way, 19-18, GCU scrapping right back in this one, and they're gonna find the line. Thought that was GCU point. I think some of the crowd did as well, but Chicago State gets to 20 and they lead by 2.
Little fancy move there. Snuck it in that corner.
Egg. That was nicely done, but
Powerful
good job
hit.
keeping that one up by Carvajal. Diving in the corner. Nice play. Kovensky, that one's gonna go. Kovensky gets her second kill.
2019, the Lopes still staying close by, not letting Chicago State pull out in front no matter what happens.
You must, especially in the first set. And then Alapo, nice job reacting again. That's the second or third time she's done that along the net. Doing a great job keeping those hands up. And again to her, and it's down. Wow, the determination of Alexandria Cliff and Ibn Alapo, excellent. And it's 21-19, a timeout taken on the court, and we will be right back, 21-19.
I'm studying mechanical engineering. Arizona is completely different from Italy, but that's why I love it so much. I feel honored to be here at GCU. I feel like they truly care about who I am. If you're passionate and if you work hard, you can do it, and GCU is here to support you. I will be able to apply my knowledge and make a difference immediately.
Find your purpose at Grand Canyon University. Private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu.
21-19, Chicago State leads, and it's been a really even game. I mean, like we've seen a couple times from these GCU WAC games, the first set is just neck and neck, and there's really no separation.
Absolutely. The Lopes have been able to block, but they have not been able to capitalize off of these blocks. Chicago State getting lucky with the Lopes blocking and the ball just not going in the Lopes' favor tonight.
Well, it's going to come down to conversion and execution. The Lopes really haven't been able to convert as much as Chicago State has, doing very well at the net, and their reaction time is incredible. That's why they find themselves just trailing by 2, but Chicago State has come out firing on all cylinders. And they are back on the court and ready to serve. number 14, Shantae Addison. So we're going to bring in some new talent here. Set there, that one popped all the way back, but out of the lines, and it's a GCU point. 21-20. Maria Adams will come on, the blocking leader at 71 for GCU, and that's a necessity.
Especially with the way that the Cougars have been attacking. GCU needs as many blocks as they can get.
Very impressed with the spin that the Cougars have been able to get on the ball. Lacey Adams right there again, not doing anything special, nothing too hard, just rolling it off the inside of her wrist and finding open hardwood. 22-20. Kept up now, Adams is going to set it for Carvajal. On the far side, that's Haig, who hit it for Chicago State. They're going to say it wasn't Addison, so allowed to get it back over. GCU tries killing that one, no. Carpenter sets for Haig. This one outside off the block, 22-21. GCU strikes within one again.
The reflexes that the Lopes are showing are going to need to continue to stay at this peak that they've been at the last few minutes. They can be able to react.
A missile from Carvajal. Carmen Carvajal, 2 kills. And the Lopes will call a timeout. 23-21, they trail. We'll be right back.
Hey you, are you ready? Grab your pack, grab your tent, grab your gear. Jump in. We're going on an adventure. In Arizona, there's so much to see, so much to experience. At GCU, adventure is never too far away. Offering over 200 academic programs with a Christian worldview and nestled in the heart of Phoenix, you can earn your degree in fewer than 4 years and explore everything Arizona has to offer. Find your purpose at GCU. Private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu/AZ.
Welcome back, and there's a reason why volleyball plays 5 sets. Each team looking pretty good. No team has the real upper hand, but Summer Ferris and De La Cruz must be stopped on the Chicago State side. 6 kills and 5 kills respectively.
Absolutely. We've been talking about how close these teams are offensively, but that the defense for the Lopes needs to step it up. They need to be able to move better. They need to be able to react faster to some of these more fancy and elaborate attacks that Chicago State is pulling out with. The score is 23-21. We're close to the end of the first set.
And looking to mount a comeback. GCU brings within 1 again, 23-22. End of the set, anything can happen. Horton's gonna serve. Adams, and there's Carvajal off the fingertips of a Lope, but kept up on their side. Can they bring it back to even? Who wins the battle of the net? Kept up by Haig, good job. Carpenter. This is Adams. Ferris is gonna put this one down. Lacey Adams to Summer Ferris, and we are at the set point. 24-22.
It was a nice little ping pong match right by the net. That last point.
Good battle, won by Chicago State, but that's what we're saying, really can go either way. And yep, I was touched 4 times.
4 touches.
I believe on the Chicago State side. Either way, at least twice by 1 player. Adams going over for an explanation. 24-23. Can GCU bring it back to even?
You've got to admire the Lopes' fighting spirit. I have a feeling we're going to be talking about that for most of the night tonight. The Lopes, no matter what deficit they come by, they are able to somehow come back and keep it within at least 1 to 2 points to not let their opponent feel as if they have to drop on them. Right there.
There it is, Kendall Gray number 20, who just came on. Getting the kill, bringing it back to even. And now it's anybody's set. It always was. Pressure's on Chicago State. Adams, miss hit by Ferris, and the point goes to GCU. And a timeout is called. Pressure is on. GCU up 25-24. We'll be right back.
Find your purpose at Grand Canyon University. Private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu.
Back inside GCU Arena, and that's exactly what we talk about. Just going back and forth, staying in the game and able to bring it back to even and eventually able to take the lead. And that's exactly what GCU's done here. One more point, and they have completed the comeback in the set one, trailing basically all set long.
Absolutely. The first lead of the game so far, the Lopes being able to have this 25-24 lead. If they are able to succeed and get that next point and take this first set from Chicago State, that will be a massive, massive upset and positive point for the Lopes to start out and continue and stay ahead in this game.
Absolutely something to build on for the future sets. Emma Ahern is going to serve this one. And GCU will be on their way. We'll see. Carvajal able to get a point for Chicago State. This one evened out at 25. Just as we predicted, Dewey, at the top of the broadcast, this is going to be a back and forth match, a lot of points, and that's exactly what we've seen here in set number one. Couldn't get that one over by Gray, but kept up by Carpenter. Good job reaching down by Clevitter. Spin ball kept up by GCU and then put down in the middle of the Cougar defenders. Giving the lead right back to GCU. And everybody on their feet again.
A lot of wandering eyes for that Cougars defense, trying to figure out who was going to hit the ball. Nobody seemed to get there in time.
Well, De La Cruz, Lauren De La Cruz, not done 7 kills. This is the Chicago State team that has not won a set in nearly 1 month. 5 of their last 6 lost 3-0. So this is much needed for Chicago State, and it's got to be a massive confidence boost for them, especially if they get this win, get that monkey off their back. Adams, nice diving play to keep that one up with the right arm. That was Kavensky. And this one goes to Chicago State, so advantage Chicago State, but only by 1. I believe that was Alexandria Cliff. And now Clevitter is going to go off the net. So we play on, 27-27.
We talked about those service errors, that they're going to come back to bite both of these teams in the butt, and we really need that opportunity.
How about 4 and 3 service errors per team? Adams sends it over, and that one just a missile. De La Cruz responding really when she needs to. 9 kills, and we'll see if they can end it here, because can't forget about the fatigue each team will face going so deep in these sets. Got to expect 4 more. Punched up, there's Clevitter. Can it be ended right here? Punched over, and GCU is able to keep it over. Adams sets here, and it's a net violation, so a point for GCU, and they're still alive. 28-28.
Lopes are not done yet. They're not finished. Wanting to come back as we serve. And then there's a net violation right there as well. 29-28, Lopes back in the lead again.
Timeout called on the court, 29-28. Don't go anywhere. Set one is still on 29-28. And Dewey, what have we seen this set? I mean, we've seen a little bit of everything. Blocks, you got service errors, almost 10 kills for De La Cruz in set one. And GCU has been down all set, and they still find themselves ahead here in extra frames.
The Lopes have definitely been utilizing their defense. Like we've talked in the beginning, before the game even started, the Lopes needed their defense to really show up tonight. And even with those 10-plus kills, the Lopes have the opportunity to come back and win this first set. But Chicago State has been pulling out a lot of very strategic and well-placed kills on the Lopes side of the court, and the Lopes are still able to come back and show that they can be resilient and they can stand out amongst them.
Chicago State has done an incredible job of adapting when they've needed to with the kills. We'll see if GCU can win it right here off the timeout. That's exactly what you just said, Dewey. I mean, precisely what you just said. De La Cruz, that is her 10th right there. Just changing her whole strategy and attacking different players, realizing what she needs to do to get the point and stay alive. 29-29. As we continue to go, and this is going to be a GCU point. 30-29, so we've been back and forth, and these teams are so evenly matched.
Both teams need this win, and you can see the focus on their faces.
And it's GCU that gets the win.
Get it, 31-29.
How about the excitement in this building just from winning that set? So 31-29, they trailed essentially by one all set long. 21 kills for Chicago State in that first set, 18 for GCU. And some of their points came by way of the airs, 8 attacking airs for Chicago State. So a very good job of executing and letting the Chicago State airs harm them, and they've gotten that win. Let's learn some more about Kayla Redfield and Emma Ahern with this video.
I'm Kayla. I'm a setter, and I'm from Southern California. I'm Emma. I'm a libero from Rochester Hills, Michigan. Moana. Moana is my favorite movie. My favorite movie is Moana. My favorite movie is Benchwarmers. I'm guilty to say I have the High School Musical soundtrack on my recents on my phone. We have a lot of Screamo, too, the day to remember. We like Snapchat. Our favorite social media is Snapchat. Yeah, because we have a streak and we just keep it so we can know how long we've been friends, and today it's 303 days. Ooh.
The players can kind of see their social life outside of sports, and just kind of like you see at a baseball game, maybe for the MLB, the NBA. That's fun. Good to see GCU doing that.
Absolutely. It's always good to know that the players are also still students. They still have social lives. They still like to enjoy some of the things that the rest of us common folk like to watch, like Moana and the High School Musical soundtrack.
Well, 31-29, set one win. We have set two coming up. We'll be right back after this for the start of set two.
I
believe our energy was really good, you know, as we're going in and putting a lot of new things in. We've got to, you know, set the standard of focus and being able to implement things as we go in a live way. But, you know, we've got work to do. But I thought our energy was really good. I thought our enthusiasm was there. Our team's excited. Our staff's excited. So overall, it was a good start.
A lot of excitement for the women's basketball season coming up, as well as the men's basketball season. And it's beach night here tonight. So a good start for GCU in getting that win behind a rowdy crowd and a beach-themed crowd. And you see Thunder walking around. He's in his beach attire as well.
We've also got the Havocs here showing up, giving their spirit to the women's volleyball team tonight, also in their beach attire, beach balls, lays, and everything. As we get geared up for this second set, we want the Lopes to be able to emulate some of what they did in that first set and improve upon smaller points, like their defense, like being able to anticipate some more of the intense attacks like they received from De La Cruz earlier.
GCU sets a go, and it's Melody Horton to serve. See if the Lopes can build on their lead or their set victory and come out strong. Far side. Olapo, and then Tardy is able to stripe the line for a beautiful first Lopes point, 1-0. As the second set begins.
Those skill shots, like Natalie Tarley just showed us, are exactly what we're going to need to see more of from the Lopes. As we keep it in the air, no. We're going to give the point to the Cougars.
I thought GCU celebrated that one time, and then Chicago State did. That was a beautiful set right there of getting that ball high in the air and allowing her teammate to get right underneath that. Service ace by Carmen Carvajal, the service ace leader at 31. 2-1 Cougars. So high up in the air, and that's going to be another service ace. Off the top of the net.
Those are tricky. Sometimes you never know if the ball's going to go over to your side or their side, and by the time you figure it out, it's just too late to get there in time.
And that is such a hard serve by Carvajal, getting so much behind it. But GCU able to get the point with Clara Kavinsky on the net. 3-2. Emma Ahern serves. And that is a service error. 4 for GCU, 3 for Chicago State. And a 4-2 Chicago State lead. Miscommunication on the GCU side. Two teammates running into each other there. Kayla Redfield bumping in to Ahern. Unable to play that ball, and it's 5-2 Chicago State.
You might be seeing a little bit of the anxiousness of both of these teams as the speed of which they're playing as the Lopes get that point right there by Claire Kavinsky.
No chance there for Clevetter, as you saw the reaction, just backing up, trying to throw the hands up and stop the ball from hitting her. Just too much velocity behind that ball. And they're back within 2. Nice job by Kendall Gray. The second time she's made a very influential play right on the net when they've needed it. It's a big point. Now they can tie it back up on their serve and get possession back and really make a nice run for themselves. Put a run together here, get Chicago State on their heels. That one misses, and it's a Chicago State point, 6-4. The airs have kind of slowed down a little bit for the Cougars. That ball real high in the air. Ahern able to get it. And then Haig able to put it down for a GCU point. 6-5, and they're back within one. Kind of reminiscent of last set. Of course, you wouldn't really mind it.
Like we said before, the speed at which this game is being played could just be some of the nerves and anxiety of the pressure for both teams to want to win this, to break their losing streak so far. But with the speed comes a lot of little mistakes that neither one of these teams can afford to continue making.
Absolutely, each team kind of starting to press when they feel pressured. And a point, a big point won by GCU. Not exactly sure why. A ball handling error on the Chicago State side will tie it up at 6 with a chance to put GCU in the lead. And it's another GCU point. Nope. That one, I guess, got the line. Thought it was outside. Not quite. Alexandria Cliff is going to get credit for the kill and a 7-6 Chicago State lead. Just power right there. Melody Horton again. 6 kills. She leads the squad on the night. Only 1 air. Next is Sarah Haig. So you're seeing the production right now from the players that we don't necessarily always see getting these points in the stat leaders.
We're seeing both teams' offenses really shine right now. Well, the Cougars have 24 total kills and the Lopes have 23. However, the defenses both with blocks, Cougars have 2 and the Lopes have 4. Not a strong presence of the defense making an effort.
Just what we said, it was going to be an offensive showdown, and that's exactly what we've seen. And a GCU point. Tied back up. Haig has 6. Natalie Tardy comes on. So does Kayla Redfield, and she'll serve.
It's almost a competition of which team can hit the ball the hardest in the most difficult spot, which, if it works, it works.
It's what we've seen. And a nice play is selling out by Clevitter, the libero. And then Tardy able to get the points for the Lopes. It's 9-8. And finally the lead back after going down 3-1. Almost mishit there on the Chicago State side, and that's another GCU point. 10-8.
This right here gives the Lopes a little bit of energy to be in the lead so far.
And speaking of energy, charge your way through the day with GCBC's premier energy drink, Stampede, and run with the herd. Loaded with B vitamins. It'll keep you going all day long and keeps us going all day, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Can't sit here and enjoy volleyball without a little bit of extra energy to support your favorite team.
Seems like each of these teams took their Stampede before this game. And well needed as mishit off the right shoulder, it looks like, of Melody Horton. Even at 10s, 20 points through the second set. No real change in the outcome from set 1. And finally, points go back to Chicago State. So their blocks we were talking about not really around too much. but they're at 3, are Chicago State, and they have the lead 11-10.
Beautiful,
Not for
beautiful
long.
shot by Tardy.
Six kills for Tardy. She's come right on and put that number from 3 to 6 in a matter of 6 or 7 points on this set. And this is going to be a GCU point. Maria Adams and Natalie Tardy, the two tallest structures on this team.
The Lopes up by 1, 12-11. Having the lead earlier on in this set twice now compared to that first set. And again with another point, 13-11. The Lopes are definitely improving their offensive game to compete with the Cougars tonight.
And that's big. Horton serves. We'll see if they can just keep getting points, and they can. There's 3 in a row. 12 attacking errors for Chicago State has really come back to bite them, and they trail 14-11. GCU grasping the momentum. See if they can continue to do so, wanting to get their first win in front of the home crowd and in WAC play. And a timeout taken on the court. 15-11, GCU leads. We'll be right back.
Hey you, are you ready? Grab your pack, grab your tent, grab your gear. Jump in. We're going on an adventure. In Arizona, there's so much to see, so much to experience. At GCU, adventure is never too far away. Offering over 200 academic programs with a Christian worldview and nestled in the heart of Phoenix, you can earn your degree in fewer than 4 years and explore everything Arizona has to offer. Find your purpose at GCU. Private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu/azroadtrip.
Welcome back onto the court. 15-11 GCU, and it's been a tale of 2 different sets. Really some hesitation in set number 1. This time, GCU's running away with it, and they're building off their previous points because they're only gaining more confidence.
Absolutely, and that confidence definitely showing up, having them be able to have that first set under their belt and have that energy like we talked about is giving them a little bit more momentum, a little bit more confidence to attack and to, show down against the Cougars, being able to prove to them that they can have just as much of offensive power as they can.
Well, they have so far, up by 4 and a hitting percentage of .323. That is much better than their season average of about .212. Play snuffed out by GCU. And we'll see who can get the point off the timeout. That's going to be huge in this set too. Tardy laying out, selling out. And man, it's a GCU point. Did not land inside the antenna. Double touch, I guess it's a Chicago State point. 15-12 the score. It's a 3-point GCU lead. Canyon looks to play the defensive as a serve from Paige Ehring comes.
This is where it's going to be imperative for the Lopes to improve their defense to be able to keep a lead like this that they have with the 3-point lead that they do have against the Cougars.
And that point goes to GCU this time. (16-12), and you gotta like the chances if the Lopes can go up 2-0 of really taking this home crowd momentum into the 3rd set and dominating that.
It really does make a difference to be back at home on your home court, to have the greatest student section, the Havocs behind them, the GCU cheer team here to support them. America's favorite mascot Thunder here as well, as they got that next point, 17-12, up by 5.
You know, talk about a little attendance as that point goes to Chicago State, falls on GCU's side. They really filling this place out well. The energy compared to last game really seems to be much higher. Not sure if that's maybe just students getting their midterm exam energies out or what, but that point is going to go to Chicago State, so a couple in a row there for the Cougars. That's what you want to try and avoid.
Lopes still have the lead, 17-14. Still fighting strong against the Cougars.
Just to touch a little more on what you said, I mean, it's really evident to see how much better GCU plays when this place is willing them on. And it's awesome to see how this place constantly does that regardless of the match. But I'll tell you what, when GCU is playing well and their crowd is behind them, they can't be stopped. The near side, good job keeping that one up on GCU. Ahern sets it to Haig. Will this one fall? And it will, and it's GCU's point again. 19-14, and they go up by 5. Stay at a .306 hitting percentage.
Hopefully the Lopes can keep this momentum and take off and secure another set. Chicago
State getting a point, but they need to do that if they want to stay relevant, or relevant in this set at least, because GCU up by 4, not wanting to surrender this lead. Bouncing, and it's landing in the corner. GCU gets the point, and it's 20-15.
Claire Kavensky with the serve.
Chicago State. Nice job by Kavensky playing that one straight up. Tracking over now. GC wanting the pressure to get to Chicago State, and it's done just that. 21-15. Canyon leads by 6. How about service errors reduced to none in this set? 0 in set number 2. And another attacking error for Chicago State. How about 18 attack errors for Chicago State? A 22-15 lead into the half in the second set. Don't go anywhere.
I believe our energy was really good, you know, as we're going in and putting a lot of new things in. We've got to, you know, set the standard of focus and being able to implement things as we go in a live way. But, you know, we've got work to do. But I thought our energy was really good. I thought our enthusiasm was there. Our team's excited, our staff's excited. So overall, it was a good start.
Welcome back onto the hardwood. This is a completely different GCU team. Of course, you can't expect a team to play the same in their first set and their second set, especially in a game that expects 5 sets, because that first set is just a warm-up. But GCU has really taken away this game completely from Chicago State, making them make all the errors because of their aggression and their attack, and their constant attack.
Absolutely. Chicago has 21 total errors in this game so far, where GCU only has 9. And GCU has been able to use that against Chicago and be able to attack and make sure that everything that they do is done with a purpose and is done to the best of their ability.
Looking to close it out right here, 3 away, and that would be Nice response out of the gates by De La Cruz as that one almost fell right off the serve from Kavinsky. Chicago State not wanting to give up yet, of course. De La Cruz leads this team 14 kills. She sends it off to be served, and that one is put down. Melody Horton, it's 23-16.
You can see the energy remaining with the Lopes as even the bench is staying excited as the Lopes are leading 23-16. They've kept the energy that they secured. Another point for the Lopes, 24-16. The energy that they had, they fought their way through to earn set one. They've kept that momentum, they've kept that energy so far, and it is now paying off with their 8-point lead.
Set point here, and GCU is going to take it. 25-16 as we head to the sort of halftime, and really GCU is looking real good for the third set.
Absolutely. The Lopes, like I just said, the Lopes have kept that momentum from the first set. They've been able to utilize it throughout the entire second set, come out and finish 9 points ahead of Chicago State, and let's hope they can bring it into the third as well.
They've seen distribution from all different types of players, and they've really shut down the playmakers for Chicago State. This GCU team is exciting and exhilarating right now. Not that they're usually not, but it seems like a different brand, playing loose, not really tight, and their subs are having fun too.
It's always that extra homecoming feeling as well, being able to come back from being on the road for so long and being able to play in your home arena and show up.
Well, let's check out Tartuffe. It's not too late to check it out at Ethington Theater the 20th, 21st, or 22nd.
This is Ashley Romantic with GCU TV, and I am here at Ethington Theater to talk with some of the cast and crew about GCU's latest theatrical production, Tartuffe. So what is Tartuffe about?
It's basically a story about a comedy about hypocrisy, love, and family antics. It's about not always trusting what you see. The lead character of Oregon, he believes this pious, holy facade that Tartuffe puts on, but no one else buys it, and so they sort of have to warn him and get him to see the error of his ways before it's too late for any of them.
And what has been the most fun aspect of production for you?
Probably seeing the whole collaboration of everybody's designs. This whole show is student designed, and to be able to see all of their talents being finally brought all together, because we see little tiny bits and pieces, but this week brings everything finally together, and it's amazing to honor each other and their talents.
And what is the message you want the audience to walk away with?
I want the audience to walk away with the message to trust those who care about you. Those who care about you want nothing but the best for you, and when they're saying, hey, a nice man is going to steal everything from you, you should probably listen to them.
And what has been the most fun aspect of the show for you?
This is a very physical role for me, which I'm not used to, so I do a lot of physical comedy. I roll around on the floor and stomp my feet and run around like a crazy person, which is kind of fun.
Why should people come and see this show?
It's really funny. Like, it's very entertaining. We have a great time up here, and I think people have a great time watching it. The costumes and the set and the props and everything is gorgeous. So even if you're not really a theater person, I think you can come and, see these wigs and the costumes and be like, wow, they put a lot of work into this. So I think people will enjoy it.
Tartuffe will be playing October 13th through the 15th and 20th through the 22nd. Make sure to grab a ticket because it's a show you don't want to miss.
Welcome back to GCU Arena. Don't miss out on Tartuffe. You want to be able to see that on the 20th, 21st, and 22nd. GCU Arts program here is always a wonderful thing to enjoy, whether you have some free time, you want to go with your friends, enjoying the time just to sit there and then just relax, to be able to have some time to watch and not do anything. It's wonderful.
It's something special about GCU, and to see the whole campus get into it, it's certainly something else. You can find the 2017 Canyon Worship album on Spotify and iTunes. Stay tuned for Behind the Song look at Canyon Worship. Song It Is You.
Awesome. Let's check it out.
Heartbeat for you. Will you trust that I won't leave? God, you have planned it all for me. Everything I am to be. Anchor us, sweet vessels in you, oh Lord. We are nothing without you. My soul's filled with your presence. I feel you all around. My soul is filled with your Holy Spirit. You're speaking to me right now. You are faithful, you are faithful, you are faithful to me, God. I give you control and trust you through it all. You say there'll be trials, but you tell me to delight in the promise that the sun will bring tomorrow's light. Who am I that you would love me? Who am I that you should care? Who am I that you would call me? Lord, your love's beyond compare. Only you satisfy. Only you satisfy.
I had this experience while I was praying. I had my eyes closed and I just saw a picture of God handing me a pool of water with a tree in it. And I was asking God what that was, and he said, that's like living water. And he's like, here, I want you to have this, because when you abide in me, then you don't run dry. You're planted by a stream of living water. In this picture that I had while I was praying, I handed that to some people that were like behind me. Then they kept handing it off, and they kept handing it off, and they kept handing it off. And so that just kind of went on forever. And then he handed me a handful of sand, and I blew the sand away, and there were words written on my hands. I turned around and put that like on the person's chest behind me, and then them, and then them, and then them. And then there was a dove handed to me. And so I asked God what all of that meant, and it was like God offering me salvation. It was God offering me his words written on my heart. It was God offering me the Holy Spirit. And basically him saying, come to me, I want you to be with me. In that picture that I was having while I was praying, I saw myself and a bunch of other people kind of just kneel down at an altar. And when we looked up, Jesus was standing there, and he lifted your head up, and he was looking straight into your eyes. And we were all in plain clothes, and it was like he unveiled you somehow. And when he did, all of our clothes turned white. And it was kind of like all of the saints, all of the people that have accepted salvation becoming new. And we all stood up, and he kissed us on our forehead, and he sent us on our way. And as we went away, and we walked kind of just into the world, it was like everybody that we encountered turned white also. And so it was just this really cool picture of salvation and what happens as Christians when we follow God and encounter other people and show them the love of Jesus.
Welcome back inside GCU Arena. And the first set kind of a marathon, the second one kind of a sprint. Great action back and forth, but GCU able to capitalize really off of their runs. And in the third set, all they need to do is keep playing like they have been. I mean, 329 hitting percentage, only one service error in the second set, and 5 attacking errors compared to the Chicago State 20. So that is a huge difference for each team, and one that GCU needs to continue.
Absolutely. We talked about this in the beginning of the game, that it's going to be these errors that is going to be what will define which team is going to come out on top. And with all the service errors being on the Chicago State side, we're seeing the effects of that. And having the Lopes be able to win, especially that second set with so many points ahead. As we get geared up for this third set, we want to hope to see the Lopes continue this momentum. We want to see the Lopes continue pushing out and fighting that aggressive offense that we've seen them have, especially in that latter half of the second set.
How confident are you right now coming out into this third set? Whole arena behind you, up 2-0. Second set, bar none, your best set. What is this confidence level heading into the third set, knowing that they can complete this sweep?
The confidence level should be through the roof. With them having the advantages of their home court, having the team behind them, having everything go in their favor, especially in that second set. The Lopes have that momentum and that ability to come out and sweep Chicago State again, of whom I'm sure is not excited and is gearing up themselves to try to fight back.
Well, of course, we talked about at the top of the broadcast the previous meeting in Chicago between these two teams. 3-1 in favor of the Cougars, as we're set to go here in set number 3, and what could be the final set if GCU plays their cards right. Chicago State comes out with the opening points. Seen that in all 3 sets, though, so nothing to worry about for the Lopes.
Both teams have had that longer chance to rest. Hopefully the Lopes still have that energy, as that point goes to Chicago State of a little bit of a mix-up right there in the middle of the court.
Saw that a couple times in the first sets. At one point going down 4-1, and GCU able to respond, just what you need. Not letting a run of more than 3 points, and they answer with their own. It's 2-1.
Emma Ahern to serve. A little bit too hard of a hit right there.
Yep, GCU point, 2-2. And Ahern serves that backside. Kavinsky able to get that one in, 3-2. And the Lopes have taken the lead right back after going down 2-0.
As we've seen, all of these sets continue to get better and better for the Lopes. As the first set, it took them over 10 points to gain the lead. The second set took them about 5 points to gain the lead, and now with only 3 points, the Lopes are continuing to stay in front of Chicago State. A little bit hard of a hit by Kavinsky right there, but
they gave it to GCU.
Wow.
Look at the reaction of the bench. Well, just a little bit late, but the RoboCam above excitement after realizing that's their point. 4 in a row as they will double up on Chicago State at 4-2.
The Lopes need to be able to keep this momentum up.
That's a point for GCU, is not going to reach.
Right there, 5-2.
Exactly what the Lopes need right now, huh, Dewey?
Absolutely.
Forcing a timeout by Chicago State, 5-2, and we will be right back.
There's a burst of excitement at GCU as the Lopes gear up for their season, and they're ready for action. The only NCAA Division I men's soccer team in the state will dominate the field at our state-of-the-art 6,000-seat soccer stadium. Former MLS Coach of the Year, head soccer coach Shellis Heineman leads this all-star squad at the epicenter for soccer in the state. Come catch all the family-friendly excitement. Games will sell out. Get your GCU single game tickets today at lopestickets.com.
Back, get a look at the thundering herd of GCU inside GCU Arena, willing their squad away less than a set away from a victory and a clean sweep against the Chicago State's team that almost near swept them in their place.
Absolutely. And you know what? With the statistics that we shared in the beginning of how close that game was in Chicago, we're seeing the effects of what just having that home environment, as we have a little bit of a service error right here. Natalie Tardley gets pelted in the back of the head with that. A little bit of comedy on the team.
Good that you can sit back and laugh at that, though. Kavensky is going to get the point outside the restraints, doubling up on Chicago State, and it's going to be important to keep that lead, not let Chicago State scratch and claw their way back in, as they are Cougars. Carpenter serve, this one taken by Clevitter. Ahern. Set there, and then Haig. Good job keeping that one up. To the GCU side, and point given to Chicago State.
With the Lopes playing better and better each set, and in general, as they have played the last 6 games, you can only imagine the feeling on Tim Nolan, the head coach, to see the team improve as drastically as they have been.
It was just a nice little alley-oop right there. Lacey Adams to Summer Ferris, and the Cougars are within 1, 6-5. Serve from Alexandria Cliff, and a lot of these players the same for Chicago State as they have brought it back to even. Only 3 substitutions, and one not even really counted, the libero Megan Clevitter, Paige Ehring, and then Shantae Addison coming on, but that's it from the starters for Chicago State, as they will take the lead. So 4 points in a row for the Cougars, and that's something GCU's not going to be able to allow if they want to win this one clean 3 sets.
Absolutely. We talked about the energy being the downfall of the Lopes, with them being a little bit flustered and having so much momentum and energy from the last couple of sets. Ball hitting the pylon.
Now this is just what we talked about earlier. She went down, she's back now, and it's the spark that she provides that's necessary for GCU at this time, and we'll see what they can get her. You know they're going to be setting it for her way. And here she is. Gets the point, comes on, and DeFalco answers. Dewey, that's exactly what we talked about in the first set when she went down. And that's why she is second to only 1 in kills on this GCU squad. 8-7. We're at 15 points, and GCU unable to get the block. Out inside the antenna. 9-7. Lacey Adams serves. Lobbing that one over. And then Chicago State garnering points right now, and GCU needing a timeout. They've taken it, and they'll trail 10-7 as we will be back for set 3.
GCU offers more than 200 innovative programs across 9 colleges, which now include cutting-edge next-generation programs in engineering, computer science, and information technology. Grand Canyon University, the quality of a private Christian education, the affordability of a state university. Visit gcu.edu.
Well, it's a good song. Welcome back. 10-7, Chicago State leads. They were able to get on a nice little run there, and they have GCU on their heels, forcing them to call a timeout.
Absolutely. You know, the Lopes still have plenty of time. The Lopes are still up 2-0 for Chicago State, and we're only down by 3. The Lopes are only down by 3 points and are able to still turn this around if they are able to come back and prove themselves like they did in the first set.
Well, it's good news for the Lopes that they have been trailing in both the sets. Trailing as much as 5 in last set. This one only 3, so manageable. Adams serves. And Haig is able to get the point for GCU off the timeout. Just what the Lopes need. And a substitution coming on. Maria Adams. Kendall Gray off. And Tressa Schuler comes on to serve. So Schuler will send this one over to Chicago State, and looking for momentum after that point off the timeout. That's just what you look for off a timeout. Haig, I like that punch. Couldn't fall. Good job selling out. And blocks unsuccessful for Chicago State outside the antenna. Back to a 3-point lead.
Lopes still able to keep up their strength and their aggressiveness. They're going to be able to need it if they want to get these points back and control this deficit. Right there, as the Lopes get that point, 11-9.
Just got to build off a couple. 21 attacking errors for Chicago State, 10 for GCU. Have not seen a service ace since the first set. Adams, good job getting the blocking hands up, keeping that one in the air. DeFalco's gonna have to send this one over, and she does. Adams at the net. It's another pretty much alley-oop slam dunk to Ferris.
Seems to be their specialty sneak attack, if you call it, when they need an extra point to surprise them and catch them off guard.
Chicago State playing this one on the defense and right into the net. So GCU needing a crucial mental error from Chicago State, getting it, and now they will take serving possession. Melody Horton serves, up 12, I should say trailing 12-10. Could really use a service ace right now, but certainly not a service error. Good job punching the hand up. Not a double touch by Adams, though. Tardy sends this one over. Kept up in the corner by Chicago State. And this one's far. Lopes get the point. Back to 1. And there's the run we look for.
Lopes maintaining, like we said, that aggressive momentum, that aggressive mindset in trying to score these points. They're getting in the head a little bit of the Cougars. Cougars still able to get points like they did just there, now 13-11. But the Cougars are not able to get too far ahead before the Lopes come back and show up again.
Shantae Addison's checked on for Chicago State. Interesting to see if they attack her, as that ball right in front of us falls 13-12. GCU within one again. And a good shot, good call bringing on substitutions. So be Kendall Gray. Emma Ahern is going to serve. 287 percentage for GCU. And we'll see if GCU can finally overcome. Good job keeping that one up.
Tried to sneak it over the net, didn't get it there. He's close,
and we're tied.
Just shy.
That's huge. All even. Ahern serves, looking to give him the lead. Punched into the net, and a mental mistake again. So Chicago State allowing GCU to take the lead again, 14-13. And I believe that's 3 straight for the Lopes. Looking to make it 4 is Ahern off the serve, but too far. And Chicago State lead again. I should say a tie.
Like we said before, the Lopes never, the entire game, never letting Chicago get too far out of reach before they show up at their back door. Present and ready to show up with Natalie Tardy, and the kill right there. 15-14, GCU in the lead again.
Well, it's important you say that, Dewey, because the beginning of the season, and really non-conference play specifically, the Lopes would find themselves giving up runs and unable to come back. Something completely different we've seen tonight. And the reason why they have a chance to win this in 3 sets. Back to tied, but just needing to keep the serving advantage is GCU as it goes back to Chicago State. Alexandria Cliff.
You can anticipate the hope for head coach, seeing the way that they're playing this game and all the momentum and energy that they're using. Chicago gets that point, 16-15, and making sure that they can transfer some of this momentum and energy and this excitement into the game next week against UMKC to continue playing well against conference and other teams.
That one hit off fingers and it's out, so a GCU point. Like Dewey said though, come out and join us Saturday, a home match right here against UMKC. Looking to keep momentum. DeFalco sends this one over, 16-16. And the Chicago State point. So Carvajal has 9 kills, leading Chicago State with kills, and the match is De La Cruz with 17 and 45 total attempts. That's 20 more than anybody on this court. Off the hand of Clavitter and out. Back to even.
You can see that this third set is going to go down to the bare bones like the first set did, as Chicago State's trying to come back and make their mark before this game is completely over.
Schuler keeping that low, and this one off the hands right in front, so point goes back to Chicago State, and they have the advantage. High throw. Ahern is going to need to send this one over. Horton does. DeFalco unable to go down and punch that one up.
Another one of those slam dunk type kills from the Cougars.
Timeout called by GCU, and a good call. Chicago State leading 19-17.
At GCU, earning your degree online doesn't have to be without the college experience. To find your purpose, it takes support from those around you. GCU's leadership offers over 3 decades of experience in delivering real-world degree programs online. GCU's online class size averages fewer than 17 students with full-time faculty. Integrate your education with your faith and Christian worldview. Welcome to the family. Find your purpose at Grand Canyon University online.
1917, and Chicago State has done a great job of responding to the call of duty when they've needed to. Down to the wire, down 2-0. They've rattled off a couple points in this set, and they up by 2. GCU can still close this thing out, only down by 2, and it's good to see confidence on the court by the players right now. But it was a good call to call that timeout. Is the last 4 or 5 timeouts they've seemed to answer right away.
Absolutely. With a little bit of refocusing, the Lopes can get right back on that target and get back in that zone and be able to come out and get these last 2 points of deficit and even come out on top for sure.
Here we go. Punched, and that point goes to Chicago State. A double hit on their side, so 20-17 Chicago State.
Lopes putting back in some of their heavy hitters. Number 14.
Redfield back on in that number 14 jersey. Tapped up. Can GCU stop this little run? Good job by DeFalco keeping that one up. Now Horton looking to keep this one down. Chicago State all over the place. DeFalco able to track back and get this one, and Emma Ahern sends it over. Now right at the net and put down. And an ecstatic Chicago State floor. Summer Ferris just looking to extend this one to 4 sets.
Chicago State getting a little comfortable with that slam dunk move.
And that's a big point for GCU, stopping the run, 21-18. All you need really is 1 point to start something. That's what you saw from Chicago State, and that's what we saw in the second set from GCU, so mishandled there originally. Almost fell back onto the Chicago State side, but able to keep it back up. DeFalco dives and unsuccessful, so De La Cruz probably get credit for that point.
The Lopes still have plenty of time, plenty of opportunity to come back and offset this deficit of 4 points. Chicago State grabs another one, 23-18. They're down by 5. But as we've seen, the Lopes have been able to, when they do score multiple times in a row. Just like that with Natalie Tardy. Aggressive kill straight onto the Cougars side of the court.
Hope they can keep him right here and mount a comeback 4 or 5 points in a row. Just really unable to defend the play at the net so far. And Chicago State's done a good job of responding themselves. They're looking for Tardy though. She's done a good job. And this one's gonna find the line, so Chicago State one away from extending this one into a 4th set, just like GCU did in Chicago. Tardy trying to put that one down. Couldn't go, punch back over. Good job by GCU keeping it alive. And then put down. So the block leader, Maria Adams, brings it back within 4.
Lopes are making a valiant effort right now to keep this set continuing. Give them a chance to catch up and secure the win for the 3rd set. Emma Ahern serving.
Trying to keep it alive. Chicago State leads by 4. Good job by GCU selling out, and DeFalco just unable to put that one down. Clivitter's done a great job of keeping him dug. Tracking back. Will this one get over? It does. GCU still looking to stay alive. Tardy will put this one down.
24-21.
There. That's big. That's a big point.
You see the
timeout
GCU
called by
bench.
Chicago State, and they're rattled.
GCU bench giving them the support.
We'll be right back on the court. Hopefully GCU can complete this comeback.
Hey you, are you ready? Grab your pack, grab your tent, grab your gear. Jump in. We're going on an adventure. In Arizona, there's so much to see, so much to experience. At GCU, adventure is never too far away. Offering over 200 academic programs with a Christian worldview and nestled in the heart of Phoenix, you can earn your degree in fewer than 4 years and explore everything Arizona has to offer. Find your purpose at GCU. Private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu/AZ road trip.
Welcome back here, 24-21 Chicago State lead, but GCU's done what they needed to do, 2 in a row. They've made Chicago State call a timeout, and now maybe they can get 3 points, bring it back to even.
Absolutely. You know what? Like I said before, they have time. There's plenty of time. They have the skill. They've been able to stop them this far. They've scored 2 points to make it 24-21 instead of the 24-19 that it was a few minutes ago. And they still have the time to continue to push this defense, push the offense, and come back and at least get within 1 point so that they can continue and stretch this out just a little bit longer to come back out on top.
Well, we're only 1 away from a 4th set. But there will not be a halftime like at the end of last set if that occurs, as Ahern ready to go. And looking to end it right here by Chicago State, and they will. 25-21, they get the set. And so a set 4 will begin here shortly. For GCU, not necessarily the best set for them. It seems like at times they didn't feel confident in themselves and didn't look confident against Chicago State, allowing those runs to occur.
Very true. The Lopes have those first, they came out in that first set and was able to really battle against the Cougars and really prove themselves that first set. They kept it the second set, and you can see a little bit of that energy there in the beginning, but slowly dying out as the rest of the set went on, especially when the Cougars had gained a longer lead. They were struggling to catch back up. They got close. It was 25-21 for the end of that third set, but as we head into the fourth, we hope that the Lopes can continue and gain back some of the momentum that they had in the first and second sets.
Be interesting to see if GCU can kind of start on a run and really run away with it from there, because it'd be very difficult for them to play another set, especially after that first set they had, and then going up 2-0. Losing 2 in a row would be tough. But nonetheless, they get set with 293 hitting percentage and 174 for Chicago State. But we will be right back on the court for the start of the fourth set after this break.
Find your purpose at Grand Canyon University. Private, Christian, affordable. Visit gcu.edu.
Well, welcome back in. Each team ready to take the court. And fortunately, because GCU wanting to get right back on there, and I'm guessing feeling pretty antsy and excited, but also a little nervous.
Absolutely. And the nervousness just comes from the last matchup with this team and having a similar layout that we've had right now, with Chicago State that scored 2 and the Lopes came back and got 1 and the Chicago State got the last one. But the Lopes are kind of flipping the tables right now where they have 2 and the Chicago State has 1. They hope to come out and win as we start this 4th set. The Lopes all giving out high fives, keeping the energy alive for their team. The bench doing the same. They want to be able to keep this energy, keep each other in a positive mindset so that they can be able to focus and come out on top and win this over Chicago State.
Starting on the court for the 4th set, it'll be Gray, DeFalco. Looks like Haig's out there, Carpenter and Ahern. And to serve, it'll be Kavinsky, and we're underway here in set number 4. Chicago State will start off with the point, like they have in every set so far tonight.
Chicago State really getting comfortable with that dunk set. And the Lopes have yet to find a way to really battle that attack. Service error on Chicago State. Lopes will take the point. It'll be 1-1.
Yeah, just what you said. They'll take the point, and I think it's good to get Chicago State out of a groove early and make sure they don't develop that. Tressa Schuler will serve. Nice fast serve. Haig takes this one, and then Claviter able to keep it up. Kept up by Chicago State. I think GCU thought they had the point. The arena did as well. It's very, very well still alive. DeFalco diving into the corner. Carpenter hits this one up, and now DeFalco's gonna get another chance. Nice spin on that one.
Volley still going strong.
Yeah, each team not ready to give up any points as this one falls outside the antenna. And it'll be an early lead for the Lopes. It's only 1, but it's big.
Earlier and earlier, every set that we've said, the Lopes have come and gained the lead earlier in the sets. Hopefully they can keep it and increase this lead.
And
as they do.
Too far, exactly. So an air from Chicago State. Just what GCU needed, and they will lead by 2, looking to build on it.
Service error right there. Point will go to the Cougars, 3-2. Still in the lead, still with lots of time. Smiles, focused faces on the Lope side.
You gotta know that, man, there's a chance when she serves. Carvajal does make some errors. She tries to get so much on it and sometimes misses.
We've already seen a significant increase in errors in this 4th set than we have in the 2nd and 3rd sets combined.
Kept up. And then Tardy puts that one down. 5-2, that was just power from Tardy. No chance from the Chicago State defenders. Nice job by Ahern keeping it up. Now it's gonna need to be, and maybe a double touch. I'm not sure what happened either way. An error on the Chicago State side, and that leads to a huge 4-point lead for GCU.
Absolutely. Kayla Redfield serving. Another short, aggressive kill for the Cougars. 6-3, the Lopes are still in the lead.
GCU almost getting the point, but wow. It's going to be Chicago State, so 2 in a row, 6-4. Claviter serves it here, for Chicago State. We'll see what GCU can do, and it's Tardy finding the line. She seems to be producing for the Lopes right now, and they are up 7-4. Tardy, 13 kills. Good job keeping that one up. Now Ahern is going to go back to Tardy again, and Tardy finds the soft spot in the defense.
Floats it right in, giving her 17 kills. Before this game today, she had a career of 947, as she is trying to be the 5th Lope in D1 volleyball play to get 1,000 kills.
No easy feat over 4 years, and Tardy looking to add to that total. Not quite. Powerful swing there, and they're going to set it up for her again. Continue. That one rides in on Calavitter. Keeps it up. And then a Chicago State point after it tips off the hands and out past the back line. 8-5.
Lope still 3 points ahead. Not too worried, but still have to play strong if they want to keep this lead. Service error by number 14, Shantane Addison.
It's a big air right there. Take all the airs that you can get from this Chicago State squad. And that one is going to miss as well. GCU, 3 consecutive. 10-5. And the Lopes looking better than they have all night long. And when it counts the most, that tap unable to get to the net, as it's Alexandria Cliff forcing a Chicago State timeout, and it will be 11-5. We'll be right back.
Time. Never enough hours in the day, not enough days in the week. Early starts, late finishes. You always make time for work, for play, or just to be there. There's never been a better time to create a brighter future. Whatever it is that keeps you going, hold on to it. GCU's online degree program puts you first, so you can make the most of your time.
Welcome back. The Lopes looking good here, up 11-5, and Chicago State had to call a timeout. GCU's just been able to get point after point, and it's been mistake by mistake for Chicago State here. If GCU can continue this trend, they'll win this one.
Absolutely. I believe it's the biggest lead that we've seen in the game so far, 6 points, especially for the Lopes. To be this far ahead, they're going to need to be able to secure this position and keep this lead for them to be able to stay and win for the third set.
GCU back on the court. Chicago State making their way back on there as well. 3-0 scoring run for the Lopes here tonight. Puts them up at 11-5 here in the 4th set. And Ahern serves, and this one just barely over the top of the net. It's a good one. But then answered by Chicago State. Cliff, her 6th kill.
Chicago State really trying to finesse their way and score some extra points so they don't end up on the backhand of this game.
Well, able to get that one, and now a 4-point lead. Can't let this keep minimizing, gotta have the advantage. And that one off the hands, a good job of Kavensky, able to make the defense make a play. Heidi Carpenter will come on, Sarah Haig also comes on.
The 3-star offensive players so far two freshmen, Claire Kavensky, Tegan DeFalco, and senior Natalie Tardy able to
selling
make
out
sure.
by DeFalco right there. Back line keeping that one up, and this one into the net. Do we have a net violation? No, we do not. Therefore, a point for GCU, and it's 13-7. Almost doubling up on Chicago State here later in the set.
Chicago State with 30 attack errors total, 36 errors total, including services.
With that dipping serve by Carpenter there, but the return unable to be handled. 13-8. Carpenter there, able to set up Kavensky very nicely. 14-18.
Lopes with almost double the score of the Cougars right now, doing really well to keep the lead.
Chicago State looking to send this one back over. Carvajal able to get the kill right there. 12 for her. Carvajal has had a busy night. So has Ferris and De La Cruz. 14-9.
Lacey Adams with the serve.
Good job keeping that one up. The block off of Haig's hands. Diving play there, kept up by DeFalco. Good job keeping out of the way. Sent back over. It'll be interesting to see who gets this point. Not quite GCU. Now at the net, put down by GCU, and it's their point. Kendall Gray overcoming the defender at the net, winning the point for the Lopes, and it's 15-9.
This is what we need to see from the Lopes. We need to be able to keep seeing the aggressiveness, the action that the Lopes have, making those risky choices and taking the chance to get the point no matter what.
This one off into the ground. 15-10, 5-point lead. Still pretty safe for GCU. Service coming over here, see if they can get the point. Haig, yes, ma'am, she gets it. In the back right corner on the near side, comes off Clavitter's hands. And it's 16-10. Substitutions come on for the Lopes.
We've got the heavy hitters for their offensive scoring points.
Yes, they do, and 9 points away. These balls starting to be dug out a little bit more in the back lines from GCU. And the blocking hands able to keep up. Nice job of the punch, and it's able to stay over. DeFalco able to keep that one over. Can GCU win this point? It'll be huge if they would. Tardy, no, and this one down for Chicago State. The energy on their side, obviously very excited. That was a big point, a huge job by Tardy and DeFalco, able to keep that one up. Chicago State, nice job winning that point.
Frustrating blow for the Lopes, but like you said, the energy, a little hard by Tardy right there. But the energy there seen and the effort put in to keep the ball alive till the very last second was very evident and very thrilling, especially so close to victory.
Tardy puts it right down in the middle. Defense has no answers for that one.
Lopes not done yet. Continuing to fire.
Blocking hands up, it's Adams, it's Kavensky. And it's an 18-12 lead right now. leaders for GCU, 15 kills, Natalie Tardy. And on Chicago's side, 21, De La Cruz. And this point awarded at GCU again, 19-12. And the deficit for the Cougars continues to climb.
As every point goes by, the Lopes get more and more energized as they are nearing victory.
Yeah, you can feel the excitement here as this one just barely out. And man, is this team excited right now. Timeout taken by Chicago State. And that may be the last one until this one's over. 2012, we'll be right back. GCU leads.
I am Laura Lozoya, and I am majoring in biology with an emphasis in pre-med at Grand Canyon University. The dorm life at GCU definitely helped me build relationships, and I've made great friends on this campus. The quality education here is great. You're testing your limits, but you're going beyond them. It all comes together. The sciences, the ethics, and just everything. It's a beautiful thing.
Grand Canyon University, the quality of a private Christian education, the affordability of a state university. Visit gcu.edu.
Well, we are in set number 4, and we have seen all GCU in the latter stages of these points. 20-12, 5 points away, and you can just feel the excitement right now from the Lope starters.
Absolutely. You've seen them go from the entire spectrum, from having little energy and high competition, as gaining the energy, losing the energy in that third set, and now the energy is built back up in the fourth set as they have 20 points, 8 points ahead of the Cougars 12. As we get ready to close out, the Lopes are looking to continue climbing the ranks.
20-12. Block put down, and that's one closer. It's Tardy and Adams.
21-12, 9-point lead for the Lopes. Inching closer and closer to victory. And a spike right there by number 12, Maria Adams. 22-12, 10-point lead. The Lopes are not done. They want to win it all.
Yeah, 22-12, and really their best performance here in this set when they've needed it the most. And I'll tell you what, they deserve it, and so does this entire fan base for supporting this squad. You know, no wins at home yet, but man, this is one of the most beautiful games this team can put on their resume. Very complete. They ran into a strong Chicago State team and were able to overcome every single factor. 24-12, they double up on Chicago State, and everyone in the arena is standing 1 point away from the first win at home this season for the GCU women's volleyball team. 24-12, they lead it 2-1 over Chicago State. Sent back into the corner on the Chicago State side now. And it's off the blocking hands of Tardy and Adams, and so the win will have to wait for just one more play. 24-13, 2-1, the Lopes lead.
Chicago State deteriorating.
Addison to serve it. Ahern. Now, Kavensky trying to end it. There it is, the back right corner. And the team storms the court to meet the starters. 25-13 in the fourth set, and a GCU win. How about the first win at home in front of these Havocs? And in GCU Arena, we're back again for hopefully another win Saturday night, but initial thoughts on this one, man, GCU played a very good game.
Absolutely. The Lopes needed this win. They fought for the win. They fought even from the very beginning when they won that first set. You knew that the Lopes came here to play. They have come, they have attacked, they have won, they have succeeded victory. 3 sets to Chicago's 1. The Lopes needed this victory. They secured it, they got it, and they need to keep this energy going as they go into Saturday's game against UNKC.
Well, a great way to start, and it was all GCU in this one. First set, 31-29 GCU. The second, 25-16. The third set, Chicago State won 25-21. And then finally, you just saw the 25-13 crushing in the final set. Well, that's it. Again, join us for the game Saturday against UMKC. Thank you so much for watching. Alongside Dewey Jeffries, I've been Alex Larson. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram, and to subscribe to our YouTube channel at youtube.com/GCU. Have a great night, and go Lopes.